No, 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 no. He didn't sack them. He didn't announce. He just pronounced that there are some INGOs that are smiling at the detriment or agony of our people. That's why he set up a committee for the coordination of the humanitarian activities. And he made mention categorically there are few critical partners that are doing wonderfully well in our camps, in our host communities, and in our local governments. He mentioned them categorically. The UN agencies are doing relatively quite a very wonderful job. And he made mention of ICRC and others. But there are few ones, they will just come and register, and at the end of the day, you won't see them anywhere. They are operating on their own. And that's why he tries to make them that we are not a failed state. There is a sitting government with all the institutions and ministries working intact. There was never a time that we closed a ministry as a result of insurgency. So which means the state and the national government, we have our plan. So what he was saying indirectly is that let the partners to suit into our plans. Let's sit down with them, identify where is our gap. We want to know, he wants to know clearly the 5 Ws of all INGOs and UN partners. Where, when, what, why, and who. So these are the 5 Ws that he wants to clarify indirectly. And believe me, by saying so, we sat down all on board in the coordination meeting and deliberate things are going on normally now, irrespective of sectors. But for instance, if he didn't mention such things, they want to operate in clusters. And we are a sitting government, there is no way we can operate in cluster. We must operate in sectoral arrangement.
How many of these donor agencies have been evicted from the IDP camps?
So far, there was no single donor agencies that has been evicted. So we are working hand in hand under the able coordination of the OCHA, United Nations Department of Coordination of Humanitarian Activities. UN OCHA is the lead in that body, while at the national level, the National Emergency Management Agency lead, and state government, our agency, which is the SEMA, as the lead body.
It's widely believed that one of the reasons the governor is sending them packing from the IDP camps is because he is not comfortable with the satellite monitoring installations at the IDP camps.
No, actually, this is not so. He just made mention that there is need for a scale up by some of the donor agencies. Some do just rent office, get data, submit images, and at the end of the day, they found their way. But he made mention of some critical partners. He recommends their efforts. And these are partners we have been working for a while with them. And therefore, I think it's not an issue for now. I think the coordination is very effective. And after his pronouncement, I think we have seen a lot of improvement, a lot of scale-up issues in all these sectors. I think what he's directly telling us is that we must sync to the plan of the government. Let them communicate what they are doing to the government. Let there be a document. Let there be a transparency. Let there be a medium that all of us know what is actually going on in our region. Fortunately, some wants to even introduce the conditional cash-based transfer. And the government of Nigeria believes in conditional cash-based transfer. If you give money to an idle person, I think you will make him lazy. That's what the government feels. So that's why he's calling all partners that wants to do something. Let there be a clear document that identifies what is actually going on in place A, B, C. That's simple.
What do you make of the depressing statistics, the report from the United Nations that if care is not taken, that 200,000 IDPs stands risk dying of extreme starvation?
Yeah, yes, actually, if you look at the northeastern region in general, they were making all these statements in respect to the northeast. And believe me, Borno accommodates 85% of Nigerian IDPs. This crisis we are facing is of international magnitude. It terms as the third largest crisis in the world apart from Iraq and Syria. In Borno alone, over 2 million people has been displaced. And if you look at Nigerian map, the critical point where Borno State is located in the map clearly shows that we are lucky to have been bordering 3 different countries. Fortunately, as a result of this insurgency, it has affected our local economy. This is a crisis that termed as I said earlier, the third largest in the world. And if you look at the landmark of Borno, Borno squares about 92,800 square meter, which is a size greater than Portugal. So the local economy have been affected seriously. Our people depend on these borders. But for 2 years now, all these borders has been closed. And for your information, the official camps accommodate only 9.8% of Nigerian of the IDPs. 1.4 million IDPs in host community lives with their families and relatives and in rented shelters. And for instance, if a family have designed his life to cater for 10, he end up having like 20 IDPs, and he thought this crisis will end in 2-3 months, but it ended up taking him 2 years. So therefore, even his own local economy has been affected. The main hosts themselves are now termed as displaced because they were overstretched. The host communities is overstretched seriously. So therefore, that's why the international body took this statistic and make an advocacy for the world to know the magnitude and the quantum of damage carried out by these masquerades called Boko Haram. So I think this is where they conclude their figure. Many people didn't know that we have 90% of the IDPs are in host communities. Their main hosts are now overstretched as a result of this crisis. If he's in a salary man catering for 5 families, end up having 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And it took him 2 years. So the life he's running before will not continue as usual as a result of the number of the family size has increased. So that's the reason why they are now making a lot of advocacy to the international community and Nigerian government that if plan A, B, C has not been put in place, this is what we are going for. That's simply what they are saying.
You may also join in this conversation by sending us your comments on our various social media platforms showing on your screen. Coming up on Question Time, setting the record straight on the United Nations red flag on extreme starvation in the Northeast. Find out from the chairman, Borno State Emergency Management Authority, Malam Ahmad Satomi,